Hi everyone, welcome back to Tech-Bimba channel. In the last video, I talked about what is LLM. In the today's video, I will dive into what is GPT. Just to recap, LLM stands for the large language model. They have the capability to understand the human language, they will process it and they will respond back again in the human language. OpenAI is the company, they built their large language model and they named it as a GPT. GPT stands for Generative Pre-Training Transformers. If you see here, GPT has the three letters. Each letter corresponds to each word. We will go through these words one by one. The first one is generative. It tells what is the nature of the LLM. It is mentioning that the nature of the LLM is generative in nature. Whereas our traditional Google search engine is not generative in nature. It's a search engine. If I want to search phone, so I have written as a phone as a search criteria. On hitting the enter, this is the experience we are going to get. So we got the gist of a web pages. So these web pages having the relevant information on the phones. This is the end user experience we used to get. Whereas in case of a ChatGPT, so this ChatGPT is the application built by the OpenAI. This ChatGPT in turn uses the large language model, that is GPT. Here I have given the text as a call me as a writer. This GPT understood that and we got a response mentioning as a got it writer. So when I asked the question who am I, so I got the answer as a you are a writer. So this is how we can see that, or we can say that this large language model GPT is generative in nature. The next word is pre-training. The second word addresses the question that how come these large language models are generative in nature. What OpenAI has done is they collected the huge set of data on a various platforms. They have collected the data from the Facebook, Instagram, on various web pages. They trained based on that collected data, because of which these large language models are now generative in nature. To give a real world example, in this diagram we can say that we can see that basically many students are appearing to the exam. They are able to answer to the questions in the exam confidently only once they are trained properly. They might have referred to the various sources, various books. They trained themselves. They pre-trained. Because of that, they are able to answer to the questions in the exam confidently. Similarly, OpenAI has collected a huge amount of data and they trained their model, because of which now these LLMs are generative in nature. Third word is transformers. So Google has published a one architecture diagram of the transformers. This OpenAI referred that architecture diagram and built this large language model. I'll be talking about the transformers in detail in the next video. So this is how OpenAI basically named its large language model as a GPT. So if you see, all the large language models have these features. They are generative in nature, and they are generative in nature because they are pre-trained on a huge amount of data. All the models are basically referred the published transformer architecture of the Google. What OpenAI has done is, so it has wisely chosen the name of its large language model and they kept it what it is actually. So it's just like we brought a pet that is rabbit. Instead of basically giving any name, we are super lazy or we are super creative, we started calling it as a rabbit. So OpenAI has done the same thing. So they built the large language model. So these large language models are nothing but a transformer, because they refer to the Google's transformers architecture. These transformers are generative in nature. They are generative in nature because they are trained on the huge data set. So they combined these words. Basically, they chosen the first letter of these three words and they named it as a GPT. This is how they basically come up with their large language model name, that is GPT. So similarly, Google has created their large language model. They named it as a Gemini. Okay. So Anthropic come up with their large language model. They named it as a Cloud. So hope this is clear how the name GPT comes into feature, and this is the word we can see in many places nowadays. Okay, in the next video we will deep dive into what is transformers in details. If you found this video is helpful, please like, share and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.